Hey, friends and fellow stackers, this is Eric. Welcome back. Well, it's been a while since I've posted, but I wanted to give you an update on how we fared in 2020 and what we're looking at in the future for 2021. Well, hopefully you can see that clear enough through the video here, but this is for those of you who are familiar and been around on this channel for a bit. This is my spreadsheet that I use to keep track of my stacking and acquisitions and keeps track of the current spot price. And this is a tally where we're ending at the end of 2020, ending with 850.68 ounces of silver and 3¼ ounces of gold and zero point 0.2 ounces of platinum. Looking at how we did for the goals for 2020, as you can see, I keep track of this based on I have a set goal, and this kind of keeps track of how well I fared on my goals. And as you can see, 40 to 50%, almost 60% range on some of the numbers that I was aiming for. Like many of you, I understand 2020 was a rough year. Now I have to admit, I've been working all the way through. My employment was luckily not affected. I didn't lose my job or get laid off at any point. My sympathies to anybody who has had to endure such a financial calamity. I wish you the best. But just the same, prices, as we're all aware, from back in March to now have just been on an extreme roller coaster for spot price of silver and gold and all the precious metals. And I haven't really made a purchase of significance since about March, April, and I haven't made any purchase of any kind, I don't believe, since June or July. I've just kind of been, like many of you, sitting back, riding this out and waiting to see where the dust settled. With all of the things going on with the global pandemic, COVID-19, and the markets, the economy, so many businesses being shut down, going out of business, people being out of work, and all the concerns with unemployment and COVID relief. So I have not been keeping up with my previous goals. Now, obviously, this time a year ago, we all set our goals for the upcoming 2020 year. And as we see, the prices were more or less flat, trending a little up, a little down, and we all kind of become accustomed to the $15, $16, $17 spot price for silver. And based off of our becoming accustomed to those prices and premiums being relatively lax, and we can anticipate what we knew we would be expecting to pay. That's what I took into account when I made these goals. So they are a bit ambitious, but when considering what we knew at the time as far as spot price and the markets, these seemed reasonably attainable for someone in my position. Obviously, I came quite short. Again, back when, as you can see, I date these, most of these purchases were made back in middle of March or before, and all kind of came in right before the price dropped down to $11, and then started skyrocketing up. Now, of course, even when it was $11 an ounce, premiums were $8 to $10 an ounce over. So I bought these Silver Eagles, for example, on the 11th of March for $19.02 a coin. I bought 2 tubes. I haven't this whole summer seen that price on an ASE since that date. So part of it's been, I've been doing this since the middle of September or June of 2017, and so I have about 3.5 coming on my 4th year of stacking. Used to those mid-teens prices, and an average of $2 over for an eagle was customary. So I took a big step back. One big difference, and as I noted on a video previously this summer, I in fact decided to buy a house, bought a home for my family, my son to have more space to grow up in, and much more comfortable than the old apartment we were in. So that's been a big change in finances. Obviously, put a huge down payment down, and then now I have 3 decades of a mortgage left to go, and getting used to my new obligations every month and where that puts me with stacking. So with all that in mind, and with the prices, I just didn't get close to any of my previously set goals. Now, I did, however, have a gangbuster year for 2020. I have a little toggle switch here. I'll show you. Now these reflect the actual amounts that I paid for all of my attainments, and overall, and this current spot price reflects up and down as the markets change. But as it stands, everything I bought to current spot value only, I'm ahead by almost $500. Now my numbers changed drastically because this line here, as many of you saw, I sold my 2019 S Enhanced Reverse Proof American Silver Eagle that I was able to get last year, and it got graded as a perfect Proof 70, and I ended up selling that for $1,700 to an online bullion dealer. And so the way I track it in these numbers is that $1,700 didn't come out of my normal stacking budget. It didn't come out of my paycheck or any extra funds that I would normally stack with. So I considered it all, return on investment back from the stack into the stack. So when I count that, not counting, that money, because it was no more extra out of my pocket than would have been, that just my my spot price per ounce average, and there it shows I'm almost $2,200 ahead from what I purchased to what it's worth at spot value only. So yeah, it's kind of fiddling with the numbers, but again, this is how much money I spent out of my pocket, out of my paycheck. If I set money aside and then decide to make an order, $1,738 is how much I spent out of pocket to pick up everything I picked up this year. And here's what it's worth at spot value currently, and that's where I'm coming up at being $2,200 ahead this year. So I'm just going to go ahead and pat myself on the back for that. I'm pretty pleased with that, all things considered, with the roller coaster we had this year. So where does that put us for the coming year? Well, here we go. I got my goals set up for the coming 2021, and again, making our goals in late December, early January for the coming year. We can only base it off of our current situation and the current financial situations and current market spot prices as they are this minute. So knowing that spot has accelerated into the mid $26 range, I've pared back significantly on what I do want to go after to try to be more realistic given those dollar values. And so here's what I'm after. As you may know, I have a monster box, and I'll give you a quick glimpse of that here or later. And I am 8 tubes away from completing the monster box. I started that, I think I committed to starting that in 2018. So 2.5 years in. I tried to aim for 5 tubes or 100 eagles per year with the intention of finishing the box within 5 years. As I showed you in the previous, I only picked up 2 tubes in the past 2020 year. So trying to be realistic, I'm going to aim for 3 more tubes of ASEs this year, and that'll kind of bring me back on track where I'll need 5 more tubes to finish. If prices take any kind of a significant upswing, that's going to go by the wayside. If prices for some reason plummet back down to the mid-teens like we've been accustomed to, if you've been stacking about as long or longer than I have, then I might go a little heavier. If I can get tubes back in the, get a tube for $350 or less as opposed to $600 at this time, that'll adjust how I weight myself into the Silver Eagles. At this time, that's the only silver I'm focused on this coming year. I My aim is to finish that monster box of ASEs and nothing else. Now I do have a set aside here. There's certain items that I consider in my mind and how I categorize it as collectible, non-stacking items only. And as I show here, I want to get the next issue of the Australian Silver Swan, the next issue of the Perth Mint Black Flag series, because I really like that. And since I do have a PCGS graded 1986 American Silver Eagle bullion piece, I thought it would be kind of interesting to get a 2021 graded slab piece, kind of to mark the end of the style series, and then get another one, the 2021s in the new style reverse that they're going to be putting out halfway through the year here, and kind of demark the beginning and the end of the old style and the beginning of the new style, just for shits and giggles. But my primary focus is going to be on gold. Last year I was aiming for 1.75 ounces of gold. Sorry, I got cut off there. As I was saying, my primary focus for 2021 is going to be picking up more gold. Again, I want to keep going on the Eagles, but depending on the spot price of silver and where that goes, my focus is going to be on gold. Last year I had a goal of 1.75 ounces, and I achieved 1.02, so about 60% of the way there, but certainly didn't hit the goal. I specifically have two items in particular that I want to get: a 1 ounce gold American Buffalo and a 1 ounce gold 2021 new style reverse American Gold Eagle. I know some folks say they don't care for the design. I think it might be kind of interesting. I'd certainly like to see what it looks like, and since I have 1 full ounce of the old version Gold Eagle, I'd like to get a matching 1 ounce version of the new style. Now again, that's all predicated on where the markets go and spot price goes. If things start getting out of control and we're looking at, 22,000 or more, 2,500, maybe 3,000, who knows? But if gold starts getting a bit unattainable for the full ounce, I might resign myself to going with half ounce, quarter ounce. So I'm not set in stone on these two coins. I would certainly love to get both of these. Part of it comes down to monetary windfalls, if you will. Like many of you, I kind of like to take my income tax return and reinvest it into precious metals when I have some extra money. Pardon me. So depending on how income tax returns go and how they treat the stimulus check money that we received in the spring, whether that counts against our refund or however that works, depending on how much and if and what I get for a tax refund, that'll likely be my first significant purchase of 2021. And then from there on out, it's really going to depend on, like I said, kind of a financial windfall, whether it's a work bonus or if I'm able to pick up some side work. I do some chores and odd work for some old friends and neighbors from back where my parents live. I visit once in a while, and if I get a little extra money here or there, putting it towards metals, that's what I'm going to have to do. And I may just have to commit myself to, biting the bullet, accepting that the world is what it is and the prices are what they are, and just kind of ease back into stacking at the current prices. So it's what I'm basically saying is here's what I'd like to do, but we'll see how the situation unfolds. So that's where I'm at. I just wanted to touch base and let everybody know I am still around. I'm still kicking. I'm still floating around watching videos. I know I haven't made much, put any content out in a while. I simply, I don't go on tirades, and I don't read articles, and I don't give my opinion on current events. I'm just a guy that shows unboxings and full stacks and talks about what I picked up. And as I said, this year's been a shit show, and I just haven't picked up much, certainly not recently. So I just haven't had occasion to show anything new. So as I said, a little eye candy just to set you a little flutter. There again, it's my focus for the year. We're aiming for American Silver Eagles, 3 tubes if possible, more if the price goes down. And focusing on the gold as much as budget will allow. As I said, I bought a house, so I got a mortgage, I got all sorts of new bills. Family is growing, so that's top priority, and that's why I haven't bought anything recently. Taking care of home and family comes first, and if I don't have any extra to put aside, then I'm not getting any medals. So we'll see how it unfolds. I hope everybody has a happy, healthy, and safe new year. Hope 2021 is a lot more favorable to all of us in the future. I hope things kind of settle out with this vaccine coming out. Hopefully we can make some progress in reopening the economy, and for anybody who has lost their job permanently or temporarily, is able to recover, get back out there and get back to work, get this economy rolling. Politics may play a role in it, but I'm not going to touch on that at this time. It is what it is. So I hope the best for all of you in the new year. Just letting you know, again, I'm still around, still kicking, and still stacking as budgets allow. Thanks for stopping by. All the best.